your hand up, wait till end or whatever, just shout at my way as we're going through, and I'll do best to answer them when I can, sort of thing. So how do you mainly connect? Do you all use the desktop in? Yeah, you don't connect your laptops, etc. So everything should be connected for you then. So when you are connected, your panel is fully interactive. You can do anything from the panel. There you can drag things, double tap, open things. The only thing that you don't have is a right click on the mouse. So if you do need to right click on anything, if you press and hold, that is the new right click function. So as you can see, that circle changed to a square. So if you do need to copy and paste anything, just press and hold, and that's your right click function on there. I understand from Gemma that you mainly use PowerPoint to deliver your lessons, is that right? Or
Google Slides.
Oh, Google Slides, sorry. I got Google Slide open actually. Let me get Google Slide open. I'll change actually to ACMI. Do you want to get Google Slide open sort of thing on there? Sorry, I thought it was PowerPoint. I assume so, yeah, I don't know. So while sort of waiting for Gemma signing, is there any questions at all that you've had to start with, or do you just want to see what we, when we go through it, if that gets answered sort of thing?
I've got,
yeah.
Can you import smartboard files that you saved onto this?
So you couldn't directly to the panel. But if you've got a smart notebook license, you're more than welcome to just keep using that as you were doing sort of thing. We do have Active Inspire, which is our own lesson delivery software, which is a bit different to Smarts, and you do get 2 licenses per panel with that if you have used it in the past. But there's no way to actually import directly to the panel smart notebook files.
So is that software actually installed on the board? Is there like specific software that's installed on the board?
There's nothing like Active Inspire or Smart on the board, no.
Right.
It does have full access to Google Play Store, so if you do have any apps like Kahoo, Duolingo, anything like that that you do want installing on the panel, you can do so because it has full access to Google Play. Right. So if there is any apps that you do use, you're more than welcome to just keep using them sort of thing. So that when you are on Google Slides, it should work. You can use your finger now as a swipe through your slide. You don't have to go back to your PC sort of thing, desktop, to slide through your slides. You can just keep using your finger to swipe back and forward through your slides.
There is a button left.
Yeah, so there is buttons left on there as well. Yeah. If you do want to annotate over the top of your Google Slide sort of thing, you can do so by clicking on the flame or going to the 3 arrows, the left, bottom and right of the screen, and that just opens up this menu. Just call this your unified menu, but it is just where you quickly access your apps, etc. So if I click on the annotate button there, this floating toolbar will appear and you can move that about, etc. And that just gives you the ability to annotate whatever you've got on the screen at the minute, be that a PDF, YouTube video, Wikipedia news, anything that's on the screen now, you can just annotate over the top of sort of thing. You've got a pen highlighter on there, and if you just double tap on it, you can change the different thicknesses, etc. You've got basic colour scheme there, so now if I just draw on the panel sort of thing, you can annotate it over the top of your Google Slides sort of thing. We've got an eye icon there, and that just hides the annotations fast, so if you do get any questions etc about it, you want to take the distractions off the screen, just click on the eye icon, it gets rid of the annotations, tap it again and it just brings them straight back into place sort of thing. You've got a rubber there and a bin. The bin icon just erases all the annotations, so if you don't want to rub all that out, click on the bin icon and it just gets rid of them straight away sort of thing. If you have got an undo and redo button there as well, so you can undo and redo as many times as you want, and just undo and redo sort of thing. It should be used to. If you do get any questions or want to go into a little bit more detail on what you've annotated over the top of, if you click this camera button with the square around it there, that takes a screenshot of what's on the panel at the moment. So a bit outside this is a bit more relevant and students are asking questions etc, and you'd normally go to like a dry whiteboard, to start doing more annotations and engagement sort of thing. So now all you need to do is click on that capture button, take the screen capture what you want, you can manipulate that down, If you click on done and open in whiteboard, you'll open up the whiteboard app on the panel sort of thing. As you can see, someone's been using it on here. And basically the whiteboard app is just like an infinite canvas, where you can just, instead of using say a dry whiteboard, you can just use this instead. So if you do want a blank page, all you need to do, you don't have to rub anything out, is just do that and you've got a fresh page to sort of annotate over the top of. If you need to go back to anything that you've done, just scroll back and forward through.
Sorry, now with that, where did you get your whiteboard on?
Yeah, so I did it just through the screen capture button, because I just took a screen capture. But if not, if you just open that up and then whiteboard there. But the way I did it, because I dropped that image into my whiteboard, I just did it through screen capture sort of thing. So as I did before, so if I go to capture and then opening whiteboard just there. So now we're in the whiteboard file. I'll just sort of talk through this toolbar on the left hand side. First one I'm going to talk about is just split screen mode. So all split screen mode does is just draws a line down the middle of the whiteboard, and now you can see we've got two different toolbars now. So you could have a red team, a blue team and a red team, and both, so you could get two students up at the same time annotating over the top of the panel sort of thing. So if you've got, say, math problems or anything really on there, you can get two students up at the panel at the same time and they can engage at the same time. They do have 20 points of touch on this panel, so if you really wanted, you can have 20 students up at the same time sort of thing and draw on there. Turn split screen mode on and off, just tap on button again to get rid of that line, and then you can begin to go through. I never know what to call this button, but the square with the hashtag in the middle of it, that is basically just where you've got some handwriting paper and maths paper. So if I just tap on the handwriting paper, it'll just drop that into there. If you want to make the lines bigger or smaller, if you just pinch and zoom, it says, and that just makes the lines however you want to see fit. If you do have any students with like sensor issues or anything, you can change the colour of the background. So if I want to change that to a yellow background with green lines, you can do so. So if you do have any students with sensor issues, etc., you can just change the background. I want to change that though from yellow because I don't quite like it. Just beneath that is like a square with a mountain in. That is just some charts and templates. So as you can see in charts and templates, we've got hundreds charts, mind map, Venn diagrams, number lines, etc, etc. Is there anything on there that you think you'd use?
Clock face is good.
Your clock face, yeah. So all you do, tap on the clock face and it just brings it then straight into the whiteboard, and now just grab the pen, you can obviously annotate, etc over it. If you do need to get rid of any image or anything, all you do is tap on it, you'll see that, click on the bin icon and it'll get rid of it from your whiteboard. Click on undo, bring it straight back in sort of thing. And as you can see, if I do move that image around, the annotations do stick with it. So if you do draw on an image or anything and you want to move it, you don't have to move the image and move the annotations, etc.
Can I just ask, how would I save that? Because I like to save my notes.
Yeah, that's fine. So skip ahead sort of thing. So three little dots at the top. If you click on there, you can just save or save as to the panel itself. If you export, so you can export these as PDFs as well. So it's not just locked to the panel. So if you've had alert, so say you've made loads of notes or you've done a lesson on the whiteboard, you want to export it as a PDF, it's accessible from your learners that weren't in that lesson sort of thing. So if I click export PDF screenshot, that'd just take a screenshot of this clock face. If I did export PDF canvas, that'd do the full infinite canvas sort of thing and export that as a PDF as different pages.
Right.
So once I've clicked on that, do you use Google Drive or OneDrive here?
Google Drive.
Google Drive. So if we installed the Google Drive app onto this panel sort of thing, because like I said, it's got access to the Play Store, you would see Google Drive there. So all you'd do, you'd be signed into your Google Drive on your profile, you click on the button there and then you just click what folder you'd want to save it into sort of thing.
So you wouldn't click save as, you'd change it?
If you wanted it as a PDF, if you just want to save it to this panel, so say you finish your lesson today, you're not coming in here till tomorrow, you just go file, save as, give it a name, and then if you wanted to access it back the next day, the following week, you can do so sort of.
And that would be on the whiteboard?
And that would be on the whiteboard if you just save or save as. But say if you wanted to access it from your computer or you'd want to email it out to other learners, you'd export it as a PDF.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dom, would it remain in the Promethean board even if you're just signed in like as a guest? Because not all, I don't think the tutors have got their own.
Profiles,
own,
etc.
yeah,
If you
profiles.
signed in as owner, which it probably is by default, it would save. If you are on guest, I do think it clears it. I haven't tested it, to be honest. I think if you saved it specifically in a file, it would save on there anyway, because you've saved it into the file, not onto the profile. So we'll sort of talk about saving if that's something that you do need to get into. I probably would recommend, if you use Google Drive, install an app on there so you can just export it straight to your Google Drive. You don't have to mess about then. If you do have USBs, I know USBs aren't allowed in many places. Are they allowed here or not? Really?
You don't encourage it.
No, yeah.
Just mainly because everybody's got Google.
Yeah, that's it. So, but if you do, there is 2 USB slots there. If you want to plug your USB in, you can obviously then just save to USB, or you can get images, etc. off that USB. But it's completely up to your policy sort of thing if you're allowed to do that or not. Again, in your charts and templates button is your gallery. So in your galleries, you can see is any of your screenshots that you've taken. So there's obviously one here from previously and the one I've taken. So any of your screen captures, you can just quickly access again and bring back into the whiteboard if you want to go back to it in weeks gone by sort of thing. Or you do tap on it and it brings it straight back into your whiteboard sort of thing. Again, you've just got pen highlighter, different colour schemes. Change thickness just by double tapping on it, etc. You've got a full colour wheel there with lots of different colours. Whatever colour you select is what colour it'll draw, sort of thing. It's quite simple like that. You've got a rubber and then a rubber with a box round. The rubber with the box round just means it'll just clear all the annotations off the screen. So if you've got lots of annotations, click on that button, it'll just clear them all, sort of thing. You do have some built-in math tools as well, just on there, so you can drop a ruler into the whiteboard. You can make that as big or as small as you want, knock it on an angle, and all you have to do then to draw is just move your finger or pen within that blue box there, and it'll draw 2 straight lines. Click on X and it brings it straight back in there. Again, same with the protractor sort of thing, can make it big, small, you want whatever angle you want. The only thing with the protractor is it does have 3 different settings. So if we're drawing one angle, it'll draw the angle like that. Sorry, I'm really rubbish at maths, I don't know what that's called. It's a segment. As I've tapped that red dot, it's changed to a blue dot, and that, just on the outside, that then changes to the line sort of angle. Again, click on the green dot again, and it will go over the top of the angle. So you've got 3 different functions to the protractor on there, sort of thing. We spoke about saving. You've got undo and redo at the bottom, so that is pretty much the whiteboard. Do you think that you'd use that moving forward? Is there any questions on that, or anything you want me to touch on again, or go over?
Is that a particular pen that goes with that?
Yeah, so you get 2 pens with it, but there's no technology at all in this. So basically I can use that. I should touch on that as well. But if you do have a preferred stylus that you've got off Amazon or to use on your iPad, you're more than welcome to use that. You probably can't even use back of a biro. I just wouldn't do anything sharp on it like a ruler. Yeah.
Don't use the back of the biro because it's too easy to use the front of the biro.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is if you don't have a pen, it's quite easy to use with your finger sort of thing. The writing experience is quite good on the panel as well. Like we do a lot. So if you do your signature, as you can see, it's following my finger live, and it is quite fast sort of thing. So it is quite a nice writing experience sort of thing. Good thing with this panel as well, see if it's turned on or off, it has palm erase or palm eject or reject on. We've basically done that, it's quite popular in primary school, so if you do have a learner coming up to the panel and they rest on the panel like that and draw, as you can see it's just fully picking the pen up, it's completely rejecting my palm. So that is turned on, but that is a function that you can turn on and off. So if I just click on the volume button, can you see palm mode there? So if I turn that on, it'll start to recognise my palm, and on the whiteboard, my palm now will be a rubber. So it recognises the difference between my finger, so it knows my fingers when I'm on select. It knows my finger now is to drag things around without changing it, use the pen to write, and then I can use my rubber to erase sort of thing. So you don't have to forever keep changing the settings. You don't have to keep changing the settings, etc. You can just do it all in one sort of thing. You don't have to keep going to pen to rubber. You can just do it all throughout that. I'll just turn palm mode back off on there. So yeah, that's pretty much whiteboard in a nutshell. So is that covered everything?
Just
all happy with that?
Question, it's like a big toilet roll.
Yeah.
And if everybody's logging in with the same, whether it's an owner or a guest,
Yeah.
whatever, I presume if it's a guest, it'll get cleared every
Yeah. So what I would suggest do, I don't know how many rooms you'd sort of teach, and do you teach in quite a lot of rooms, etc. Yeah. You can create your own profile on here. So all you do is click on the owner button there, the settings tab, and it does give you the ability to add more users. I know it is a pain if you are going into multiple rooms that you do have to create a user in each room. But I suppose once you've done it once, you know your profile is always there then, sort of thing.
Okay, so then unique to each board.
Yeah, so then it's unique to each board.
And how many can you have in each board?
You can have up to 8 additional ones.
So, yeah. Cover most rooms, do you think?
I think so,
Yeah.
But there's, if all those users are taken up, it still doesn't stop people using it as a guest.
No, yeah, you still have your owner and guest, they never change, you just can add up to 8 additional
So I
more.
would recommend that you're in that room on a regular basis and put yourself as an owner. If you're only using it once every now and again, that's probably not
Yeah.
bad.
If not, I don't know how many
Yes.
lessons you teach, etc. You could even, no, that would make sense. No, that doesn't make, yeah. So yeah, I know there is a bit of a limitation there on how many users that you can set, etc. But that is how it is,
But we can
unfortunately.
save it anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if we're doing as a guest, we can still save it after each session. So it's not.
Yeah.
Doesn't
You
have
just
to be.
save it to the PDF, so I'm trying to get the thing out in my head about saving. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I like to put things on Google Classroom at the end of the day so we can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
it.
So again, you can do that. So right, so imagine the owner now is my profile. So I've just created owner on there. So the first thing I've done, I've created user from that setting profile. The next thing I would do if you're creating your own, I click on the padlock button and then just set a screen lock on there or a pin code now, so no one else can access your profile, sort of thing. So if screen lock's off, if I turn screen lock on, it'll allow me to have a screen lock or pin code, sort of thing. It's unique to yourself then, sort of thing. Also then within your profile is your cloud button. So if you click on the cloud button, you only then have to sign into Google Drive once. So once you've then signed into your Google Drive once, that Google Drive then will always be signed in onto that panel. So then when you try and say export as PDFs, and we install Google Classroom and Google Drive on there, you know that once you click on Google Drive, you're already signed in. You don't have to keep signing in every single time. Once you've logged into your profile, it'll log you in through there, and you can export it that way.
So people will have to remember to log out, won't they?
Yes, that's there.
Otherwise, some unsuspecting teacher, and I presume you have to log out the board as well as the PC.
Yes, but if you do turn the panel off, so say if we turned it, I'm just going to do a full shutdown of the panel. So just give it a few minutes to come back up. It won't automatically sign you in if you've got more profiles on there. All you'll see is owner, guest. So, Gemma says got a profile on there, so I didn't quite catch anyone else's name, but as you'd see like user 1, user 2, user 3, and that's all that you'd see on the screen. So then you would have to select what user is using the board. It won't auto sign you in there.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the auto signing in. I'm
No,
worried
it's
about the
signing
auto
out.
signing out. Because I can quite imagine somebody coming in,
Yeah.
the teacher after you. You've got
Yeah,
to They start saving stuff to your Google
To your-
Drive,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they get home and they go, where's all my stuff? And you're going, what's this stuff in my Google Drive? So it's a bit. tricky.
Yeah, I do understand that. I'm trying to think of a best way around it, sort of thing.
Just have to remember, and your own risk,
Yeah, like
really.
you sign it out of the computer.
But yeah.
So what I've noticed, because I'm in this room twice a week now, so I've noticed that when I annotate on there, it doesn't appear on my PC. So before, I was able to snip what was on there and just copy it onto another slide, if you see what I mean. So I could record what was done on the board. But this way, I don't know if I could do that on there.
So we do have, let me just go back to my PC. Do you know the Annotate app that we've got on there is available on Windows as well? Let me just get it to open up. So as you can see here, I've got the Annotate app on there. So if you then want to annotate actually over the top of your screen, so I'll select which screen I want to annotate. So that would then actually be live on the screen. But if you are using the Annotate app on there, it is still on the screen. But I suppose it's not live. Is that what you're sort of wanting
I
to
just
do?
found frustrating that usually when I write on there, I can see what I've done on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I can save it from my PC.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, how am I going to save what I've done on the board? How do I do that?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Just close that. So if I select screen, go to window. So you can see there, if you use the Windows one, you can see it on your screen. So you just have to use the Annotate app from Windows, which you can install.
Right, yeah, Chris used
So
Yeah.
that means we have to install that.
If you wanted to see it on your screen, like say, you're more than welcome to just use Annotate if I showed before, but it doesn't show you actually on your laptop screen because it's basically just on that panel there. If you did want to see it on your screen itself, there's no way to annotate on Google Slides, is there? You'd have to use the Annotate app basically to do that, and you'd have to install that on Windows. Because like I say, if not, you just need to do the Annotate as I showed before, but you can't see it on that screen there. There's nothing on my Windows screen there.
So the Annotate app, being the Windows app,
Yeah.
that will enable you to annotate Google Slides.
Yeah.
And then when you and the Google Slides is saved on the Google Slides, then is it, or is it temporary? You have to take a screenshot.
Yeah, you'd have to screenshot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you'd
thought
have to
so,
screenshot. Yeah. To be honest, I don't know why on Google Slides you can't annotate. To be honest, like on PowerPoint, if I went onto my PowerPoint, I know you don't use it, but I can just tap pen there, sort of thing, and it is on your screen there. Like I say, I don't know why Google haven't invented modern capability of inventing this, but there's no way the limitations on Google, to be honest, not on themselves. So I do get why it's frustrating, but at least that now with the Annotate app on the panel, or even then on Windows, you do have the ability to at least annotate on a Google slide sort of thing, whereas before obviously you were struggling to annotate on that. Yeah, has that answered the... I know it's a long-winded way around it, but there's not...
No, I think if we're not able to do it, I don't know if anyone else has got the same issues as me, it's just me using Google Slides and annotates on them.
I don't use it, don't do that huge amount, but it's a good idea.
No, it's just the way I've always worked, so I just have to figure out a way.
Yeah, like I said,
Adapt, I suppose.
like I said, myself personally I'll just go back to HTML if it's not long.
Yeah, I just want myself to use Jamboard then. If I need to annotate on something, I just use Jamboard.
Yeah, use that more, that's a good idea.
Yeah, like I say, if not, you can obviously click on the flame as I showed before, click on annotate, and now you can at least annotate over the top of it. But like I say, it isn't on your actual screen, it is only on the panel. But yeah, I know there is Jamboard, so yeah, if you do want to use...
Yeah,
Maybe screenshot it.
Yeah, you can still screenshot
like what he did earlier.
Yeah.
And then say
when
he
he
wrote
But not on the-
hello.
but not on the
screenshots
computer.
on there, but it's
Yeah.
saved to whiteboard though, isn't it then?
Well, they saved to gallery, then you could save it to your Google Drive. You're more than welcome then
Yeah,
to
move it to
take
your
it from
Google
files
Drive.
and save it to your Google
As long as the
Drive.
way of saving it to Google Drive then,
Yeah.
That way.
I'll be able to save it to my own Google Drive, which
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to feel where we've got to now. I know, so you're all aware how freeze function works. There's obviously got a freeze function on this board. Snowflake just up front of the panel there. You'll see Snowflake on the top right of the corner. That just means that whatever you've got on the screen, when you click on freeze, will freeze on that screen, so you're free to then do your emails, marking, etc. onto the panel. You can turn that on and off from the remote. Again, there's a snowflake.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah, there's a snowflake button on the remote, or there's just a snowflake button there. And you'll always see in top right hand corner if it's turned on and off from the snowflake.
That's the first thing I've not touched it yet. I'm not sure what you did.
Yeah, other things that you can do on remote, you can change the source as you could from any other remote sort of thing. So you click on source button, that appears, volume up and down, and you can also open your menu and sort of navigate it from there. But again, I'd probably try and be interactive unless you're walking around the board, etc. The disable touch button is the finger button. All that does is similar to freeze, but your computer screen is still live. So if I change it to PowerPoint, etc., it still comes live, but there's just no touch functionality. So if you are, say, walking around the class with a clicker, you don't want a learner to come up and just start moving things about, etc. You can just disable touch by just tapping on there, and it just disables touch on the panel. Next thing sort of want to touch on, so we spoke about whiteboard, capture and annotate. The source button lets you change in and out of your source button sort of thing. Your home button just takes you to the home screen. You can personalise your home screen, so if you do want a logo, timings of the day, you can personalise that on there, but if not, it's just a blue background, time and date sort of thing on there. We spoke about profiles in owner, so I'm just going to quickly talk about screen share now. Have any of you screen share currently or not really at all? So how screen share works basically is any device, it's complete device agnostic, so you could connect from that laptop, from my iPhone, from an Android phone, from a Chromebook. You don't have to be in the same building, on the same Wi-Fi network. If you give someone that 6-digit code on our My Promethean app, you're more than welcome to download it if you've got your phones on you now. Just go to the App Store and go to the Promethean app. So I'm just going to, it's just a red flame there. Sorry, we're doing it earlier on a different panel. So if I put that 6-digit code in, so 254715, a number 1 will appear in my waiting room. Just there, so it should just say Dom Howell. And in your waiting room you can have up to 39 devices waiting on there, but you can just have 4 on the screen at once, so I'll wait for someone else to connect sort of thing. I'll have a bit of a race to see who gets there first or who will stay as fastest.
Has that worked on?
No.
Is the Promethean app, is the software for Windows? Or?
Yeah, you can get it on Windows as well. So you can just share obviously then remotely from you. The good thing with, if you do it on Windows or Apple Mac, touchback functionality works as well, so I can touch through the slides as I have done without a cable sort of thing. It fully touchback, but it doesn't work from iPhone or Android. Once you do connect, you will just have to click start broadcast and then you should enter the waiting room. So we've got a G as well as myself.
That's me.
Is that you? Yeah.
I'm thinking now that I'm sharing.
Yeah, I'll not share your screen, Jim, don't worry. But if you do want to put different devices on the panel, all you do is click on the tick button there, and then I could put myself and Gemma onto the panel sort of thing. So I'm just going to untick Gemma and put my screen on there. So if I click share, whatever now is on my iPhone obviously goes straight to the panel itself. So if you do say have any marking or some live feedback that you want to do, so if I open say the camera app, I'm just going to take a picture of this listen to the teacher. So imagine this as a piece of students' work that you want to talk about, feedback, etc. If I go into my unified menu and click on capture, I can take a screenshot of that student's work. If I now click done and open in whiteboard, you've got that student's work into your whiteboard. Now you can annotate over it, say this is what you've done really well, this is what you've not done so well, etc, etc. You can say to the class, this is a good example of what good work looks like sort of thing. And it's a really fast, seamless way that you can just get the student's work onto the whiteboard sort of thing. If I go back to screen share.
Do the learners have to have this on their phones then?
If you wanted them to share the screen, yes. If you're on the same Wi-Fi network, because as I'm saying, like I'm just on my data here, if you are on the same Wi-Fi network, you can just use AirPlay on Apple, or you can use Windows K on Windows, or I don't know what the Google
The
one's
learners are
called.
mostly using the Chromebook.
Yeah, so on Chromebook you can have an extension on there and it just looks exactly the same. You just put your
So there's
6-digit
a
code
My
in.
Promethean extension.
Yeah, and I'll send you links after session if you want, Gemma, sort of thing. So we've got Patrick as well in waiting room. I'm guessing you do not want me to share your screen. I don't know who Patrick is, sorry. So do you want me to put your screen on or not?
Yeah.
Yeah? So if I click on Patrick, so I'll put mine and Patrick side by side sort of thing, so you can see Patrick's on the left, even though he's not sharing at the moment, of mine on the right. So if you do have any apps that you want to use, so if I just open GarageBand open, and I've got a piano kit, I can play the piano sort of thing through there, if that's something that I want to do. So yeah, patrick screens now just on
So
there.
I could just share whatever I want
Yeah,
on there.
yeah.
Okay.
So I've connected to my mobile data, but it's actually not too bad. If you go on online courses or video tutorials, basically anything that we've talked about today, there's just quick 1 minute 90-second videos on there. It's free to just register. Now we do register with an email address and you get full access to this. So you just be on Active Panel. If you're interested in Active Inspire or learning that, you're more than welcome to take courses, and you can just access it through that. And it's just learnprometheanworld.com, but I'll share that email address around with yourselves, sort of thing afterwards.
But within Active Inspire, you get 2 free licenses per
Yeah.
board. So that probably in the majority of our rooms wouldn't cover the number of teachers.
To be honest, if you were really interested in going, like moving towards using Active Inspire, I know using Google Classroom would probably give you a site license, because I've noticed you've got some smart boards, etc., and smart notebook. If it is something that you're really interested in moving towards,
So is it, sorry, explain to me what it is.
so it's basically, if you're familiar with Smart Notebook, it's just like Smart Notebook, but better. I'm going to say that to yeah. Basically, us and Smart, well, first one's here, we both had lesson delivery software, and it is just, if you're a maths teacher in a secondary school, you will probably have used Active Inspire sort of thing. If we started talking about that, we'd probably be here for hours sort of thing. I don't want to sort of get onto that. If you do get interested in using it, like I can come back out and do additional sessions on that. But I would probably just refer to the online one first. It would just give you a list of all the tools that it has, and then you can pick and choose ones you use. So like one that's quite popular, we'll just talk about, is Tools and then Revealer. If you imagine you've got a lesson on there, click on the Revealer. All you want is the first portion of your page on to start with to take distractions, and you can sort of just work it through at your own pace, you know, just moving it back and forward through there. You can draw straight lines, import shapes. If you want to draw a square, you just have to do that. To draw a square, but I've got my revealer in the way. And there you can just keep drawing shapes. It's just a really powerful lesson delivery software. If you're familiar with Smart, it's probably very similar to Smart Notebook sort of thing. It'll have all the tools. Before they used to be, because they've been going for so long, we both pretty much have all the tools. We've copied each other. Say if they've developed a green pen, we do a red and blue pen, but because they've been going for 26, 27 years, we've pretty much just caught up with each other on that, if I'm honest.
So that works on there, and then it saves to...
So that is just a Windows app. It's nothing to do with the panel, it is just a Windows app, to be honest.
So to save it, you'd export it to PDF?
Or you can just save it as an Active Inspire file. You know, you won't necessarily, you just save it as an Active Inspire file. So if I go to my resources, which is there, I've got an Active Inspire flipchart there, you know, it's just like a file, and if you've got it installed on your laptop, you'd just be able to open it up.
Yeah, I'm thinking about learners really. Load it to Google Classroom, for example. So
yeah, so you'd have to file, export as a JPEG or PDF, yeah. So yeah, that's how you do. If you are interested in moving towards that, like I say, it's probably more with a...
Maybe more of a maths thing, but
yeah.
If we did, you said you'd give us a site license. Was that a proper give us a site license?
Yeah, if you're interested in, because you've obviously purchased stuff, understand quite a lot of Promethean over time, we do offer, if you are interested in moving to Active Inspire, we will support you with that. So I've noticed that you have got some smart notebooks downstairs. If we had like a bit of a gentleman's agreement that when they die or you are replacing them, you go with Promethean.
That's what we're already doing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'm guessing that conversation already took place. We'd be more than happy to apply you a site license for that. It'd be absolutely fine.
Great.
So yeah, we can.
How many Promethean do we have at the moment across?
I've got 10 something. Yeah, mostly concentrated up at Egremont.
Gorton as well, haven't we? The new ones in Gorton.
Yeah, a couple in Gorton. Yeah, of course they're the only things that go on because there's only 2 classrooms.
Yep.
We've got a couple at least at Longside, I think. And couple.
So you could have a replace one of these.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Potential, yeah.
So
Yeah.
my question is, talking about smartboard, so I've been using it for a lot of fun and
Yeah,
smartboard.
so the
Am I
good-
able to...
Yeah. So a good thing if you do have any smart or even PowerPoint if you do move, you're not going to lose any of these resources sort of thing. If I click on file and we've got an import button, I can import any PDF, any PowerPoint, even smart notebook files, and the conversion rate's about 85%, so they might have a font that we don't have, etc., so then you just have to change the font sort of thing, but the conversion is really good on there, so you're not going to lose your resources, don't worry. You're not going to lose your 10-15 years of resources sort of thing. You can just keep using them as you go through. I'm going to sort of touch on, so the only thing I've not really touched on now on the unified menu is your locker. Your locker is just basically where you access your apps that we can't fit on there sort of thing. So we've got a built-in timer and spinner, so we've got a locker and timer. There's a built-in timer on here, it'll just give it a minute to load, and you can add up to 4 on the screen at once by just clicking on the plus button. It adds more on there. You can change the setting from, also you've got presets on there, so if you always use 30 seconds, 1 minute, and you can customise those as you want. And you do have the ability to have a clock on there, timer there, and stopwatch there, is it? Yes. So we've just got a new timer sort of thing, so I'm just sort of familiarising myself with which is which. Clock there. You can change it from digital to analog sort of thing using there, and you can change the size of them from large, medium, small sort of thing on there. So if you go small, I click small, must click large. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. That's really weird. I don't know what's happening there. I'm guessing, I know we have just launched an update today, so I wonder if it is fixing the timer sort of thing, because that wasn't working the sizing wise on there. But you can sort of get it, if you do want a built-in timer, you can just access it from panel. You don't have to go to a separate website, etc.
That's good, that, because I use the timer on my phone to say they're doing an activity in 15 minutes. That was so much better.
Yeah. We've also got a built-in spinner as well. So if you do say, if you are asking a certain question, you can create your own list, and you can import CSV files on there. So so if you have got a class list and you've got it in an Excel format, you can just import them straight into there, so you don't have to be stood at the panel typing them out, etc.
How did you get on that? Oh, it's on the front screen.
Yeah, so I just went into locker and then spinner, and then if you want to create your own, so that we've just got some pre-made ones, so we've got continents, numbers and shapes. If you want to create your own, just click on create list. And how it works basically is just a spinner. So imagine that we did use that name, so it's a bit more relevant. So if you give this a spin,
it will spin. Go.
Yeah. Sorry. Asia's going to answer this question today, sort of thing. And again, you can add up to 4 on screen at once, so you could have different ones running. You could have a number, multiply, divide, another number, and name, and just sort of running it from your spinners, sort of thing. You can make the spinners full screen, so you can just have that on the screen at once, sort of thing. If you do import your lists onto your spinner, it will only save to that panel. It doesn't follow you around, etc. It just saves your profile on there, but once you've done it once on that panel, it's at least then saved. But if you went into a different room, your spinners doesn't follow you with you, sort of thing. We do have an inbuilt web browser as well, so Chromium's on there at the moment, but if you have a Google School, you're more than welcome to put Google Chrome on there or Microsoft Edge. It's just complete personal preference. So you click on Chromium, it gives you access to the internet. You can make that full screen, so Wikipedia opens up there, but you can just access anything. The good thing with this is you can snap them to the left and right. So say if you open your Google Classroom file on the web browser itself and snap that to the left by just clicking on that toolbar and the left icon. If you open your whiteboard up, then snap that to the right. You see? You've then got this, so imagine that's your Google Classroom slide, you're going through it, you've got ability to make notes side by side there, so you've got your content on the screen there and you can just click through it, and you've got ability to make notes on the other side of the screen, sort of thing. So if you do, obviously if you're using Google Slides, you sign into your Google account, open your slide up on the panel itself, you don't need to use the computer, open that up and then at least you can have them side by side there. As I keep alluding to, you do have access to Google Play Store. It is turned off by default, just so if you do have any learners that come in Intel College or FIFA, whatever on, but all you can turn them on through panel management. Do you use panel management at the minute, Gemma, or not really?
Say again?
Do you use panel management at all, or not really? I'll see if it's assigned to anywhere. No, so basically all panel management is the ability for Gemma or the IT team to manage all the panels from one central resource sort of thing.
We were offered this, but we felt there was no point.
Yeah, this is complete free of charge. You could have been offered Radix, so that's a full MDM, and that you get a year free, and then it is paid for sort of things. It's not our software sort of thing, but you do have a free panel management. It's pretty basic and basically just manages the panels. So you can set them to turn off at a certain time. So say if you want to save on your electricity bills, etc. You can set them all to shut down at say 4:30, 5 o'clock. It doesn't lock them to stay off. So if you have got an open day at night, all you have to do is click on the power button and it will bring them all back on. And on there you can turn Google Play Store on and off. So at the minute it's turned off, all you do, you scan all your ones with the QR code, you give them a name so they're easily accessible, and then you can turn Google Play Store on and off, as I said before, do your power management, and I think you can send Wi-Fi settings to them, so if they weren't connected to the Wi-Fi you could send them all out via that way.
So we can push out different apps to work at the same time.
You only could do that with Radix. You do get a year's free Radix. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would maybe use it, but only when you had it up full Promethean. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't do it while you've only got drips and drabs. I might as well try it for the first year because you could get all the settings etc. pushed out, and then you might not need it again. You've got all your apps pushed out, your free license runs out. It's not hurting anyone to use that free license sort of thing. But yeah, you're more than welcome to use the free license, but I wouldn't recommend doing it until you got all Promethean in school, to be honest. So you would just have to turn App Store on, and then come to the panel and install the apps that you want. And so you could put Google Classroom, Google Drive, any other apps that you want. If you use Kahoot, Duolingo, I'm trying to think of any other apps. But basically you've got full access to App Store. So I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, it's pretty much everything, to be honest. If you do have any questions, like I say, I'm more than happy for Gemma to send my email around. So if you do start using them more and using things we've gone through today, just send me an email if you get stuck with anything, or go to the Learn Promethean website. It's completely up to you guys. I will just note I am on the road a lot. My area is the full north of England, so if I don't get back to you straight away, it probably is because I'm driving sort of thing. But I will get back to you as soon as I can, obviously, but it might just be at 6:30 at night when I get back. But yeah. So yeah, if there's any questions, or if you want to come and have a write on whiteboard, etc., you're more than welcome to, or yeah, happy for you all to have a play now and I'll hang about if there is any questions.